I saw my grandma coming with a big pestle, screaming, "I am going to bring an end to this." The only saving grace I had on that day was my father. She rushed to her and collected the big pestle from her. My father was so confused. He has never seen his mother act that way before. So he tried to calm me down. Bola in tears, and she kept on saying to her sister, "Is it my fault? How is it my fault? Tell me. How is it my fault that I look like my great grandmother? Who happens to be my grandma's mother-in-law? Well, that is my fault." And her only sister Tolu said to her, "That is my fault. Bolanle, don't cry. It's okay. Don't cry. Do you want me to cry too? Don't cry. It's going to be fine." Bola's ordeal with her grandma started as a joke. Bola was born on the 18th of September, which happens to be the same date of birth of Bolanle's grandmother's mother-in-law. That's a long story, right? Which happens to be Bolanle's great-grandmother. My grandma would leave subtle comments here and there about me being her late mother-in-law. She would say things like, "Chika, we know it's you. Don't disguise. Welcome, my mother-in-law." My mom and grandma would laugh about it. My mom would say, "Grandma, you're so funny. Please, leave my daughter alone. Oh. My daughter is innocent." Oh. It was an inside joke that they just laugh about. Bolanle was the true photocopy of her great-grandmother. The first time she saw the picture of her great-grandmother, she said to herself, "Oh my goodness, is this me?" Bola and her only sister started living with their grandma after they lost their mom to the cold hand of death. Their father was a very, very successful and very busy businessman who travels a lot. Their grandma calls him Ajala Traveler. He entrusted his kids with his mom because he knew that his mom would really take care of them. He was never for once worried about the well-being of his kids. My grandma was such a sweet soul, at least to my mother. She really loved my mother like her own. So you would think that naturally she would pass down the love to all my mother's children. But that wasn't the case for me. As I grew older, I became the splitting image of my great-grandmother. From what I heard, they said we walk the same way, we talk the same way, and we also have the same taste of music. We listen to the same kind of music. Isn't that strange? The first time I really saw my grandmother get so angry with me was the day I innocently sang one of my favorite songs, Go 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 Go, which happens to be my late great-grandmother's favorite as well. Whenever my grandma was angry at me, she would scream and call me my great-grandmother's name, Chika, Chika. You have started again. You have started again. The first time she did that, I was confused. She usually do that because she believes in reincarnation. And it really pisses me off because I am always like, I am not Chika. I am not Chika. The anger she had for me kept on growing. I had to involve the elders in the family. They all thought I was exaggerating until one fateful day that they visited and they witnessed it all. My grandma mistakenly turned the hot shower on herself in the bathroom. She came out of the bathroom screaming, "Chika! Chika! Even if I offended you in the past life, you ought to have forgiven me by now. Okay, we both hurt each other, but please, you should at least forgive me. Forgive me. Right now, you're not my mother-in-law again. You are my granddaughter. Forgive me, at least." At this point, I don't even need the forgiveness. It's either you leave this house or I leave this house. Because this house will not contain the both of us. I repeat, this house will not contain the both of us. The elders I invited were so shocked as to how things went from 0 to 100 in a minute.
They tried to caution her, but she kept on screaming. Thankfully, the elders were able to calm her down and also caution her. And they saw what I've been going through all this while. And they brought me closer and they explained to me how my grandmother went through HELL in the hands of my great-grandmother. And the elders kept on saying at the same time, Solani, which is my grandmother's name.
You should have moved past this.
Yes,
You don't
calm
need
down.
this.
You
need peace.
Calm down. My father was aware of the whole situation, but my father felt I was exaggerating everything. But at this point, everything was becoming unbearable that I couldn't hold it anymore. I just kept on complaining to my father. After the elders witnessed everything, they gave my father a call so that they could have a discussion over the present situation of things. All my father kept on saying was,
you all know that my mother can be so dramatic. She is going to calm down very soon. You guys shouldn't worry about that. There's no big deal about what is going on. People fight every day.
So on this fateful day, my father was in town and he was at home. He witnessed everything. It was on a peaceful Saturday morning. I was doing the dishes in the kitchen and I love to entertain myself while doing that because dishes isn't one of my favorite things to do. I was watching a YouTube video and the next video that came on was the go challenge. I rushed and I tried to quickly change the video. My hands were wet. As I was trying to change the video, because my hands were wet, the phone started to malfunction. And the go song started playing over and over and over and over again. It felt like I was doing it intentionally. I looked back and I saw my grandma coming with a big pestle, screaming, I am going to bring an end to this. The only saving grace I had on that day was my father. She rushed to her and collected the big pestle from her. My father was so confused. He has never seen his mother act that way before. So he tried to calm me down. And he also went to his mother and he said,
Mama, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Ẹ má bínú, calm down.
My father immediately drove my grandmother to the hospital because he was worried, like what was going on. And when we got there, the doctor told us that grandma needed lots of therapy session. And she gave us the contact of one of the best psychologists. After the psychologist assessed my grandma, she told my father that my grandma was being paranoid, hence why she was acting that way towards me. On that day, my grandma went through series of different kinds of emotions. She cried, laughed and screamed. And she said, as Bolanle grew older, everything about her reminded me of my mother-in-law. They had the same kind of attitude, the same nature. Everything was the same. And how do you explain my own Bolanle, who is a Yoruba girl, speaking Yoruba exactly like my late mother-in-law, who is Igbo? Is that also genetics or coincidence? I don't understand. Do you still don't believe in reincarnation? The psychologist reassured her that she's going to be fine. After several sessions, we noticed that her anger towards me significantly decreased. The other day, she called me and apologized. In fact, she even chanted my Oriki, which made me feel so good. And for the first time in a long time, she even took me shopping. She bought me this beautiful dream dress that I've been dreaming for a long time to own. And she even threw a family dinner party for my birthday that has always been ignored. She usually says my birthday reminds her of her mother-in-law, but now, today, my birthday was celebrated. Grandma hardly gets angry towards me these days. I've forgiven my grandma because I know no one is perfect. Our relationship has been so amazing, and this year was so amazing for me. I graduated with distinctions. My grandma was the happiest. She was cheering me and also saying, Oko Miomola, meaning my child, the wealthy one, the blessed one. So the morals from this story include We should be patient. We shouldn't ignore our elderly ones, especially when it comes to their mental health. We should be proactive because Bella's father was proactive about the health stuff. That was how they found solution to grandma's problem. Thank you for watching.